Hi y'all, my name is Squish, and today we'll be going over my deck list for Ornn in the upcoming set Vendetta.
My forge is my home.
Now, when I started playing Aggro Ornn, at the time Voltron Ornn was more popular, and so I experimented a lot to see what would fit best at the time in Spirit Forged. As new sets come along, more and more pieces that support Aggro Ornn have been released, and so I want to go over my current deck list for Vendetta to hopefully inspire more people to try Aggro Ornn, because I feel like this is probably one of the most fun versions of an aggro deck. Alright, let's get started with the deck. Starting off with the runes, I run an even split of 6 Calm and 6 Mind runes. For battlefields, I run Ornn's Forge. This is usually my go first battlefield, as it ensures us to play gear for cheaper. I run Treasure Hoard, which just allows us to generate gold, which we might be able to use in the future, or even use it towards Ornn Forge God's might increase. And finally, I run Rockfall Path, which could help us really slow down any hold decks, and also any decks that are reliant on ambush. Now, starting off with our chosen champion unit, of course we have Ornn Forge God. He's a 6 energy 4 might unit that has Deflect 2, Weapon Master, and he gets +1 for each friendly gear we have. Alrighty, moving on to our unit package. For our 2-drops, we run 2 copies of Ponic Poro, 2 copies of a unit from Vendetta, being Patch Porobot. This is a unit gear that enters exhausted, and we play him. We control 3 or more other gear, we draw 1. And finally for the 2-drops, I only run 1 copy of Lonely Poro. I used to run more copies, but I feel like with Patch Porobot, it synergizes more with the deck, and having to lose a unit to draw 1 in an aggro deck feels like you're losing a resource that is crucial to the deck. Moving on to the rest of our units, I run 3 copies of Pick Crew. I feel like this unit is really good in Aggro Ornn, as being able to conquer, play a gear, move it back to save it for a future turn is really important. Moving on, I run 1 copy of Jaina. She has reactions, so we can play her during a showdown, and when we play her, we heal our units here, then move an enemy unit from here to its base. This is good for either holding a battlefield if they move in with a unit that has more might, or when we're taking a battlefield to push a unit that is annoying there. I run 2 copies of Drop Border. Having a unit enter ready, being able to attach gear to it and swing in, it's really good. Also, it being a 4-drop, we get it up consistently early on. And yeah, super good card. And finally, I run 2 copies of Thousand Tail Watcher. I feel like this is like the bread and butter for a lot of blue decks, and I feel like in Aggro Ornn, it also shines with the Accelerate. Just being able to move it immediately when it comes in is really good. Moving on to our spells, I run 3 copies of Defy, just a simple counter spell. I run 2 copies of Charm, which allows us to mess with the tempo of our opponent. I run 3 Disciplines, which allows us to get over the edge in certain showdowns, and we also get card draw from it. And finally, I run 1 copy of Not So Fast, just to protect our gear from any gear removal. And yeah, it's a pretty simple spell package. A potential addition that I will need to experiment with is the addition of Crumbling Sands. This is a 1 energy, 1 green power spell that counters a spell if an opponent has played another spell this turn. This is going to be really good against spell heavy decks, either Diana or Irelia, just because they're going to play multiple spells in a turn, and also if they attempt to counter something that's ours, we can counter their stuff back a lot easier and have more counter spells available than their decks. And before we keep going, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, as 96.9% of my viewers are not subscribed. I'd really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy my content. Moving on to what makes Ornn, Ornn is a gear. I run 2 copies of Seal of Focus, 3 copies of Poro Snacks. This is a really good draw card in Ornn, since we basically get it played out for 1 energy with Ornn's Legend ability. I run 1 copy of Cloth Armor. This gear isn't as important in the deck, but it can really allow us to get a surprise hold, and especially with our Ornn chosen champion, it can basically give them a 3 might increase when defending, for just 1 energy. Next up, I run 3 copies of Brutalizer. This is a really good gear, as a lot of our units get readied easily, and being able to give them 3 might in a turn is really good for conquering early on. And in combination with our next gear, which are 3 copies of Sprite Fountains, we're essentially able to get 6 might unit as early on as turn 2, which is really good for conquering early on. Moving on to what I feel like is probably one of the most crucial equipments in the deck, which is Star Axe Gauges. I run 3 copies of this. Being able to play this at reaction speed and get that might increase type of card that isn't as interactable. The only really interaction an opponent can have during a showdown is if they're playing yellow and if they have a salvage. I think this is a really good card, especially if we have Seal of Focuses out and also our Ornn legend ability is available. We basically get to play it for a discounted cost, because that 2 power, if we didn't have that, would really hurt. Moving on, I run 1 copy of Shurelya's Requiem. This is really good gear for any moves towards the end of the game. Being able to, example, to conquer 1 battlefield, ready our units, and gank over to the other one is really, really good. I've also used it to have early pressure in the game if we really need it, but I feel like it's a gear that's better saved for the late game if you draw into it. And finally, a new addition from Vendetta is Helm of Suppression. This is a 4 energy, 1 green power gear that has Empower for 4 energy and 1 green power, which we're able to use Ornn's ability to pay for. Opponent spells cost 1 more energy. If this is empowered, they cost 1 more energy and 1 more power instead. This is really good when we play against any spell heavy decks, as we'll be able to play our spells normally, but our opponents will have to pay that additional cost, and can make it more painful for them to counter any of our spells, for example. Finally, moving on to our sideboard. With Vendetta, the sideboard limit has been increased to 10 cards, which leaves us with a lot more room to include cards that can help us against certain matchups. Starting off with our gear removal, I include 2 copies of Disarming Rake. This is my favorite card for gear removal as it comes attached to a unit. I tried playing with Turn to Dust on my sideboard, but I feel like having gear removal that's attached to a unit is a lot more impactful than just having a spell that gets played and nothing else happens. Moving on, I run 1 copy of Jaina's Savior. As mentioned before, she helps us with our tempo. We're able to conquer a battlefield a lot easier by pushing a unit back or hold the battlefield. Moving on, we have 1 copy of Not So Fast. This is just extra protection for our gear. And we also have 2 copies of Wind Wall. Wind Wall allows us to protect ourselves from cards like Thermal Beam, which would completely destroy our board if we have a bunch of gears out, and is also good against maybe cards that run, for example, like Time Warp or other high cost spells. For removal, if needed for any hold decks, I run 2 copies of Singularity, pretty simple. I run 1 copy of Forgefire Cape. This is for any token decks. It's really good for conquering and defending against token decks. And finally, I run another copy of Helm of Suppression. This is if we need more control of the board and stopping spells from being played. And if we're able to get 2 of them out on the board, that would be pretty impactful. Now that's it for the sideboard. Let's go ahead and get a few games in and see how it plays. Let's get into a game. Let's go ahead and do, going to get Smell. Let's go ahead and do Ornn's Forge. And I will go first. No sideboarding. Okay, perfect. This is a good hand here. Keep this. Alrighty. We will tap 2 for a Portabot. Pass. Go here. Let's focus. Go here. And here. I think we ideally want to conquer here, but yeah. I think we'll just leave them there. Oh, I could have played Power Snacks. Please. Yep. Then maybe like a flash or something, or a Tide Turner. Nothing. Okay. Here. Play this. Tap Ornn to equip here. It'll go up to a 6 and go here. Pass focus. That deck. Yep. Goes up to a 2. Okay, let's do link here 5. Rebuttal. Okay. I mean, this is gonna slow him down a bunch, but it'll allow us to survive. So.
A summoner has disconnected.
Okay. Well, there's the first game. They burnt a lot of runes, and that was the only unit. So let's try to find another game. Let's see here. We're going first, so we might want to dig for 2-drop here. Let's do. We have a pick crew. Let's get rid of. Yeah, just a brutalizer stack gauge. And we got a 4. Nice. Pass. Perfect. So what we can do now is pay 3 for our picker. Go here. Let's focus. Conquer. Get a gold. It's already here. Here, pass focus. And then here. Pay 1 for this. Ready the picker. Move him back, and we pass. That's why the battlefield that lets you pay 1 to make gold is really good at Pickeroo, because you can just move him in, pay a gold, move him back. Showdown. Okay. Interesting. No. Okay. So what we do is we'll pay 2 for an only pearl here. Move the punting pearl back. We will. Tap here to equip here, so he'll go up to a 6. Here, let's focus. Nice. And I think we just pass. Alright, so now our spells and abilities can't be countered. Kill the gear, okay. Assuming the brutalizer? Okay. 1. Oh, they have very stacked hand. If I play a Star X Gauge here, go to 5, but if they play like a stupefy, oh, they just pass. Alrighty, this is where we develop. I don't get to draw. And probably should have played the Star X Gauge first before, but I'll just hard play it. Up here, already these 2, and we pass. We'll have enough for next turn to play 1,000 Tail Watcher Accelerated. Oh, Singularity. Here and here. Proof. So I have 2 up, which could be the Hidden Blade. Yep, that's most likely the Hidden Blade, which is a pretty popular card. So we will do let's go auto pay here. Boom, boom, boom. accelerated. So it'll be a 1. If they play Shens, it'll be 5 total. We're not gonna risk it. We'll go here. And this will be 10. Here, pass focus. Take control of the ready it. Lose control. Wait. Alright. She's empowered. I think we just... So here we can try to hold. Yeah, I've never played against Renata, so wasn't exactly sure how hostile takeover works. Okay. Let's hold 8 here. Maybe they don't have an answer. Deadly Flourish. Nice. Okay. Guess we might as well empower it. Now empowered. Where to go here? Yep. Yeah, I can't do anything. In here, let's focus. Yeet. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun playing Aggro Ornn, and I'm excited to play more in Vendetta. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Be happy to share any more deck lists that I come up with for Vendetta. I have been messing around with Zed, so that is a potential. And I will see you guys in the next video.